How to deal with negative energy. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today we're talking all about how to deal with negative energy. Sometimes we go about our life, we might have a very negative energy coming from a boss or a coworker or even a friend that we know that puts us down in the dumps because they're down in the dumps, and it just becomes an automatic process, okay? Jim Quick calls these ants, automatic negative thoughts that transfer oftentimes from one person to another. Sometimes this is out of our control, okay? Because there's things like chemo signaling, basically means chemical signaling, right? Chemicals that people leave off of how they're feeling, and the residue of that, like through an eyelash or, you know, through your beard hair or hair on your head or itchy parts of your skin that come off. All of these different things, they affect people's energy. Like if you walk out of a room where there was an argument there, the sweat, the beads of sweat from the argument, the tears from that argument left on the kitchen sink over there is leaving a residue there. And certain people who are very tuned in and very, very intuitive, they can actually walk into an environment and sense like there's something weird that happened here, or yeah, there's something off about this place. Why is it the reason that we don't want to go to haunted houses and things like this? Okay, why are we so scared if somebody passed away in a house and, you know, there become rumors and stories around, oh, this place is haunted, right? It's our own minds creating this fear portal. Essentially, the first thing you've got to do, okay, is you've got to focus on solutions. You've got to have your mind go to a place that is doubling down on your strengths and your positivity and optimism, okay? You can't be thinking negative just because somebody else is being negative, okay? You've got to stay in your own reality. You've got to stay in your own frame of reality, okay? Like, what if that's just an interpretation that they're giving you or a perception that they're giving you? Understand this other negative person, they're hurt in some way. They might be transferring something onto you or projecting something onto you that's not yours to keep, okay? It's not yours to validate and keep and latch onto and start interpreting it as a part of your narrative. So you just got to tell yourself a different story around this. Other thing is, try not to react, try responding, okay? A response comes from mental clarity, comes from a sense of level-headedness and calm and zen mind. When you start reacting, it's an unconscious process. Oftentimes, like I said, it's automatic. But this overreactivity, or if you feel like there's an unreasonable amount of reactivity, there's oftentimes a trauma response that's happening, a fear-based survival response that's happening because you feel a certain threat or a threatening thought has got into your mind. Now, this person's particular vibe, they could also be your shadow. What do I mean by this? They're pointing out aspects in you that either you're missing or you used to have in your past or something like this, and it triggers this personalized storyline. So you got to watch out for that. The easiest strategy I can give you is to memorize all of the cognitive distortions, okay? There's a list of cognitive distortions out there. You use this in therapy and coaching and, you know, counseling and things like this. So definitely check out a list of cognitive distortions so you can catch them. Once you can catch them, you can reframe them. And as you can reframe them and understand that, okay, my mind is going to this place, this is not me, this is just a tendency, my mind is going to this negative place. Someone else's energy is affecting me right now. I need to hold on to what is objective and what is true. Not what my subjective reality or storyline is, but what is true. What is effective right now? Is this thought effective right now, you know? And that's the solution-orientedness as well. The next thing I'd say is stop trying to be a fixer, okay? A fixer mentality is a type of mentality that I am going to fix everybody. I'm going to help everyone. No matter what help they ask for, I know I've got it. You're taking on unsolicited responsibility, okay? It's like there's a level of responsibility that you can keep and you can control, but if you're trying to help everybody and you're trying to fix everyone, that's gonna put you at effect of the world. You're not in cause anymore. Do you understand that? One of the rules in NLP is you gotta be cause in your life, and I truly believe this, okay? Because if you start being an effect, you're still in that reactivity, you're in that negative energy. The angels can fly because they take things lightly, okay? We sometimes put ourselves in these negative scenarios, negative situations, okay? Now, what are you doing personally that is putting you more in your head and more in your lower vibration? What is it about this person that's triggering you so much? Why are they triggering you so much? It's a signal, it's a sign. It's a hot button for you, it's a soft spot for you, right? And you've got to understand that. Like, okay, let's say you get triggered by money issues. Now you know you have an issue with money and around that, okay? Let's say you get triggered by, you know, hypermasculinity or something like this, right? There's something deeper there, man. There's not one... This is not like a one-stop help shop. Like you go to YouTube and you type in, oh, how to get rid of negative energy, and you're just gonna find it, right? No, this is for you to explore. I'm just giving you different perspectives so you can think in a newer way in my unique paradigm, right? Because I'm just sharing for what's worked for me and in my own process, right? And what I've been doing as a practitioner and helping people with their peak performance for a really long time. So again, take what I say with a grain of salt, man. You don't have to listen to me. I'm an entertainer at the end of the day, okay? I am here to share my wisdom, share my experience with you guys so that hopefully you can learn something from it. The next thing is you got to be assertive, man. You got to have your a very strong and sharp sense of boundaries. Like if someone's fucking with you, if someone's just pushing you around and messing with you, like you got to be able to just stand up and be okay being in offense. Okay? Stop constantly being in defense your whole life. This used to be me in my past. I used to hate confrontation. I wouldn't stand up to my bullies. I wouldn't do any of that. Nowadays, I'm sharp with it. When I see some level of disrespect, I call it out. I screenshot it. I even put it up on my social media at times. Like, look at this. This is what we should be avoiding. Make people an example. If they're making fun of you, if they're being weak around you, of course, you don't want to give them added publicity because they're a clown, right? Why would you give them added publicity? But if it's getting to a point where they just won't leave you alone, you got to have a tribe. You got to have a backup where they support you, okay? There's power in numbers. Understand that. There's power in numbers. So if you're feeling a lot of negative energy, your tribe can give you that positive momentum. Because I'm creating videos like this, I'm sure that there's other people on YouTube that you watch and you get that positive momentum, that energy, right? Off of those guys or those gals, right? And it's important for you to understand that what is making them unique, okay? What is giving them that charisma that they're just able to do? Well, they have a discipline. They have a reliability factor, right? Where they are being the character that they need, but not only that they need, but society needs, okay? You got to understand, stop being so selfish for your own like personality, like, oh, I'm being so authentic, but I'm being selfish by my authenticity because I'm not helping anybody or I'm not reaching out to anyone, right? Oh, when you help more people, you'll start to realize your positive energy and your service and your heart just starts to expand and open, okay? Just be in service. Be a gift to humanity without expectation, remember, without expectation. Because if you go into it like, oh, I expect them to be my greatest client ever, or oh, I expect them to be my greatest friend and they'll always be by my side. No, just do it because that's a natural part of you. Don't do it with extra baggage or extra, like this kind of like secret manipulation. It's like, oh, no one likes me, you know? It's this secret manipulation that we do to feel pity and more attention on ourselves. So avoid doing these different things and understand that it's okay to be where you're at right now. If you're confused, that's completely okay. If you're really, you know, sad, that's also completely okay. What if it was trendy to be anxious or sad? Okay, we would all be doing it then, okay? So there's no such thing as like good emotions or bad emotions. They're just emotions. And it's how you experience them and the relationship you built with these emotions that's important. Some emotions might have more of a negative charge that's becoming disruptive to your own life and your own lifestyle. So once you're really aware of these things, it just makes the whole process so much easier, right? It's just that level of awareness has got to become clear and conscious. A lot of the times we're stuck in a lower state of consciousness, okay? Where I know certain people that are stuck in anger, like that's their natural way of being, right? So what is your natural way of being? Is it in neutrality? If it's not in neutrality, you want to try to be a little bit above neutrality, but not ignore the negative, because there's negative around you all the time, okay? And it's there for our own survival. Like I said, it's adaptable. So you don't want to like completely block it off and be like, oh, that doesn't exist, and be blind to the world's problems and issues. Don't do that. But at the same time, you got to understand and override that you are the one, you are the controller of this orchestra in your own mind, okay? If you let it go and you're just like, yeah, whatever, people are going to brainwash you, people are going to use and hijack your own state of consciousness against you, because we live in a society where they're promulgating fear and lack into our minds, okay? You gotta understand this, okay? So you actually have to be the one who controls the joystick, takes the power back in their own hands. And that's when you're going to start to notice the greatest endeavors are slowly starting to form and manifest now. Because you can hold your own. Because you can own your emotions. Because you can express yourself clearly. And also, if you want, you can go about it a very spiritual way. Like if you want spiritual protection, I love imagining that, you know, I have a force field around my heart and my entire body. And my aura has such a impenetrable force field around it that nothing can harm it and nothing can get in my way. I also love to whistle to call in my spirit guides. I also do banishing rituals, right? So I'll do a banishing ritual, and I can't share that on here, obviously, because it's very sacred. It's very secret to me in my own practices. However, there's certain practices that you can do to protect yourself and make your mind sharp, okay? We do these at the Flow Zone Academy as well. We give you protective measures. We give you a feeling of safety and a reservoir so that you can go about the world and crush it in your own unique signature flow state essence, right? You've got a blueprint, you've got a flow state blueprint, a flow print that you have, and it's very specific to you. No, someone else might come along and be like, do it this way. It's like, if you're trying to gain your confidence and your confidence is really great, why are you going to hire a confidence coach? That makes no sense, okay? You're only going to hire me is if you're not in flow. If you're like, ah, man, life sucks. I'm doing the same thing. You know, everything's boring. I feel so overwhelmed. That's when you're going to hire me. You're not going to hire me when you're like, oh, everything's chirpy and fine. You know, life is going great. But at the same time, understand that those people who are sometimes saying that life is going great don't show that, you know, it's not the reality. Okay. So again, a high value person doesn't concern themselves with this silly, like, petty drama that people get into. Like, oh, why did he say that to me? Or why did they do that? Like, they did it because that was their state of consciousness then, you know? They were in a stagnant, lower vibration, some would say toxic, wounded place. And from that darkness, from that place, you really have to excavate and understand, like, what is in that darkness that's there to help me. Not what is there in that darkness, let me run away from my fear of the dark, but what is in the darkness that can help me, and let me be the flashlight that shines forward. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's get it. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. We are the Upward Spiral Gang, and we are here to change the course of humanity. You just wait and watch.